I have heard of people putting these in RVs, but it's the first one I've ever seen. Oh, wow.
Tipped a little bit. Yeah. And he continued to make it worse.
Shuri was just telling me today, like, she loves that. Those are fighting words thrown out your grill. It's like, wait a second, no, what are you talking about?
Is also this.
Look at that.
So that gives me the capability.
Wow, that is
drone,
great.
Camera bag.
This is kind of different for me to see the chains on here for a fifth wheel.
Maybe a little alarming for a man to say that one of the best upgrades is not a mechanical thing. It's actually a...
Yeah, that's shocking. You're like the first couple that I've talked to. What's one thing that you guys have never shared on social media or one of your YouTube videos?
Probably the mishap we had up in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Cherie.
And we're EnjoyTheJourney.Life. So happy to have Ken and Pam. I just met them earlier this week, and they are the Roadsmiths
Yep.
on YouTube and other social media. But we have another amazing, epic, out of this world RV tour for you guys. There is an upgrade in here I've heard about, but I have never actually seen in an RV that I can't wait to show you guys.
It's big.
So we got Puppy saying hi.
Thank you.
Hey.
She usually stays right by us.
So this is Traveling Puppy, right?
Miss Mika.
Yes.
That's Miss
Mika.
Mika. Yeah. She's a hiking dog. Star of the show.
She is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yay. So what kind of RV do you guys have?
We have an Alliance 310. It's a 2021. And
Okay.
It's 35 feet long, which we heard was a magic number for state parks and
Okay.
national parks. And it's our first one we ever owned.
Okay, yeah, I love that length. You know, anything less than 40, 38, 40, and you're in the sweet spot.
Sure.
And but you got less than that, and so I'm excited to see how they have packed a small home in that length of RV. Well, that looks familiar. The Hobby Lobby?
Oh, absolutely. They're
Okay.
our friend. Lightweight and cheap.
Yeah, very cool. We have ours like up there, above the kitchen slide. But wow, this is beautiful, guys.
Thank you.
So what made you choose this particular model of Alliance?
Well, when we were looking, we were considering ease of, pulling it and making sure that it was easy to get in smaller places, but yet large enough to be comfortable for two of us. And of course, being just two of us, we didn't need, too
Super
much
large,
area. Yeah. And he didn't want to get a dually at the time either, so.
Sure.
But it's been perfect for us. It really has.
Yeah, it's right at 35 feet, so that we understand that's kind of the magic number for state parks. Although we have seen some state parks that would allow certainly larger rigs, but again, this is, I think it kind of checked off the king bed, checked off a decent sized shower.
Selling our house, I did have a couple of things that I was, high on my priority list, and one was definitely the king size bed, decent kitchen and living space. And residential fridge was a plus, and then a decent sized shower.
Hold on now. There's an RV upgrade that Ken and Pam have that we have to talk about right now. So are you excited to try this out?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get the old one out of there. Ready? how important is good sleep?
Well, you know, I'm huge on health, and sleep is a top priority. 8 hours of sleep a night is the goal.
So what challenges have you had sleeping in the past?
You mean like sleeping with you?
Hey now.
Or are we talking about mattresses and beds?
Yeah, like mattresses.
Yeah, well, you know, I've had back surgery, so, you know, I have to be really careful with my back, and I like to have a nice mattress that, you know, is good quality and, you know, good sleep and not wake up achy. So, you know, I like a good mattress.
So what do you think of it so far?
It's fit for a queen.
We have been enjoying our sleep journey on RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding for 4 months now. And from the very first night, it was like magic. I slept solid. And it's like firm, but yet it's soft. It's the perfect combination of both of them. And it's cool, so I never get hot in the night. The technology that goes into these mattresses is incredible. That's what's cool about RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. They have all these different choices to go with. We went with the Aurora Luxe Queen Firm to fit our RV and firmness preferences. With RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, you get a 120-night sleep trial to check it out. You also get a 10-year warranty, and it ships for free within the US. We love our RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, and I think you would too. And you can hear what Ken and Pam think of their RV mattress as well coming up later in the video. So if you're looking for a new bed, go to rvmattress.com. You can find the link in the pinned comment and the description, or go to rvmattress.com/enjoythejourney. Plus, we can save you 25% off of your mattress by using code EnjoyTheJourney.
And so you are full-time.
We are full-time.
Okay, how long now?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, since I guess we left Texas and right after 4th of July of 2021. And so,
Okay.
yeah, that was...
Okay, great. And what do you do to afford this lifestyle?
He's probably...
Well, not sure we can afford this lifestyle. No.
No.
We, so I had a career in sales and sales management for many years, and you know, did okay with that. And we're not in the quite at Social Security range. We're getting closer, and so right now we're just living off investments. But what we did in order to do this is we did the analysis of how much we spent on a monthly basis with our home and the upkeep, and we said, you know, based on that, we think we can fund travel, and we did that. And we've actually tracked that month to month. We probably haven't done it in the past couple months, but we started tracking month to month, you know, gas and RV parks and everything else. And actually every month, with the exception of one, which I think we were close, was actually much less than we were paying just for the upkeep of our home that we owned. So it basically was no different than me not working and staying in our house. And
we get to explore and adventure and meet new people. It's been
Right. I mean, and these RVs are built like homes, literal homes on wheels. You can pretty much have every nicety you could want.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Now we're looking at other Alliance. No, it wasn't an Alliance, but it had a dishwasher.
And interestingly enough, this model is plumbed for a dishwasher.
Well,
Really?
Alliance
Yeah.
actually plumbs them all for dishwashers.
Okay.
So, at least they did when we bought it. So
That's
we
great.
haven't done it. Weight's an issue, of course, and something else. But yeah, so it's so. I mean, in terms of choosing it, we looked at everything, and we looked at travel trailers. She tells me I was in analysis paralysis. In fact, if you look at back in the video of the truck that you did, the truck was silver for a reason initially. Because what other travel trailers are silver and aluminum, and that we were sort of going that direction, and Airstreams, and we just decided that this just gave us more room, more sort of comfort, residential comfort than an Airstream. We love Airstreams, but this just gave us more in terms of full timing capacity and comfort.
Okay. Great. I see you've got kind of a workstation set up here. Is this the stock table?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, this is so Alliance does have a fairly traditional dinette. One thing I did like about it is that not the dinette as much, but it was a floating table, so you had arms that came off of the wall, so it made it very easy. We initially tried to turn it, and it gave you a little bit more room, but just not enough. And since
Okay.
I edit video and do work here, she does her work there. This is simply an IKEA table.
Okay.
And I'll get you the link. It's an Idison. It's 55 inches wide, so it doesn't take up all the space, but it gives us enough room. And of course, in order to do work, I put this on a swing arm, so when it's time to work, I do this, and when it's time to eat, I do that. So
Okay.
it still gives us the capacity to do that.
I really like these dual shades here. I mean, is that standard on Alliance now?
It's not.
Okay.
An interesting story about that, and one of the reasons we didn't just buy off a lot, there were probably a couple things, well, 3 things specifically: slide toppers, disc brakes, and then the day-night shades from MCD that typically dealers don't order, and we really wanted that. So
Okay.
what's interesting is that it's not a standard build on the standard build sheet for Alliance, and we just happened to be on the Alliance Facebook page, and somebody talked about it, and we talked to our dealer, and they called Alliance, and they said, sure, yeah, we absolutely do that if you want, because it's not something you can retrofit afterwards. You have to replace both the full blackout shade and
Okay.
because it's on a single mechanism. But I would recommend for anybody, if you have the choice to do that, because it really cuts down the glare.
Yeah,
Still allows
and
you-
even with the reflective glass or tinted glass, this makes a huge difference in the heat and privacy. It's been great.
Yeah, I mean, Shuri was just telling me today, like, she loves that. And she's a big about the glare coming in. You're right next to a bright RV, and the sun is there. It's like glare, but you don't want the curtain pulled completely. So, yeah, that is great. I love that. That I'll call it an upgrade, even if you can get it from the
From
the
the factory,
RV factory. But great, very cool.
What else have we done back here? Let's see. So a little thing. Do you want to talk about the sconces? Because as many people know, the lighting in RVs can be kind of harsh. And
Well, the LED lighting is fantastic. I love the clear, bright white light. But when on some of these with the LED lights, it can be a little harsh. Actually, a lot harsh.
Sure.
So what we did is, and someone else had given us this information and this idea. Hobby Lobby again. I went and bought some. Actually, it's just some. Semi-transparent paper.
Nano tape, and what you did with Nano tape is you can see things.
That's probably one of the best. Yeah, I mean.
Do you guys use Nano tape?
We don't.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we found a product, Amazon again, called Nano tape. It's just a clear, great
It's a
adhesive.
double-sided rubberized kind of thing.
Okay.
And I use it often. Well, I use it a lot because I haven't had as much good luck with the command strips that some people have had, and I don't know what my
Okay.
problem is. But Nano tape seems to work really well for us. But all of these little doodads you see sitting around, I just put it on the bottom, and I never have to take them down and
That's right.
travel.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, which is
When we
really
got
great.
someplace, we'd always have to, put them back up if we're there for a bit, or choose not to. But we can just leave them up there now, and nothing.
Just one less step you have in the, getting ready to pull out.
And this is really beautiful for an RV. It feels very homey. How everything is the furniture standard as well?
Yeah, standard furniture. I guess it's Thomas Paine, is our understanding.
Okay.
So, sleeper sofa, and people claim they can sleep on it. So I hope they can, because they're not necessarily the most super comfortable.
It's a great color.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's neutral enough, but
Yeah, it's probably one of the reasons we chose Alliance too, was that there was a combination. They were starting to get into more of the garages, and we like that. So that was kind of nice. I guess a couple of things standard on Alliance, and people probably have seen this. They really do a good job of maximizing storage capacity, and so under here, this is Pam is a horticulturist.
Cool.
So we got to have plants.
Right.
But, oh look, and that's an MCD thing right there. That means these things come out a lot, so you have to kind of. But it does allow you to have
That
storage.
is great.
Storage down in there, which is good. Of course, it's kind of filled with stuff, but just gives you more capability to put things down there.
I'm noticing she's like not even moving.
I know,
there. She's
which
like,
is
"Yeah, you
I'm
guys-"
glad she's where she is. Another thing, standard. on alliances. Not all alliances, but not on the avenues, but on the paradigms is also this.
Look
as well.
at that.
So that gives me the capability.
Wow,
to put stuff in.
that is
drone,
great.
Camera bag, another fan, some tools. Just have to be very clear about how you lock it. So you have a locking mechanism down there. So that really is great.
Yeah, hidden storage.
Hidden storage is good, and she just made it.
And
turn
then
on
of
the fire.
course,
Who doesn't like ambiance?
Yeah. Is that a Furrion or is that something else?
I don't know. I'm not sure who it is.
I'm not sure who makes that.
Yeah, but,
Okay.
but I will tell you, and you probably know this, or maybe your viewers do or don't. So in the mornings we pop up, and if it's kind of chilly, popping that thing on. I can kind of feel the heat right now.
Yep.
It
Right.
actually will definitely take the chill off. And again, this is not a huge unit, so just having that on. We do carry another space heater in case, but we'll pop the propane on for a little bit, pop that on, and within 3 minutes the RV is back up to a comfortable temperature, which is
it's a nice hack when you're in like a full hookup site, or you've got electricity, it's already paid for.
Yeah, just use
So
Exactly,
you can
yeah.
save on your propane.
Exactly.
If you are enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe to our channels. For Ken and Pam's channel, The Roadsmiths, you can scan this QR code right here. That way you catch all of their videos as they're released on YouTube. If you're brand new to us, Tom and Cherie, EnjoyTheJourney.Life, then you can scan this QR code right here. That way you'll catch all of our videos. Thank you so much for subscribing.
What we liked about Alliance 2 was no carpet. Pam jokes about it because there's no carpet, and we put area rugs in, but there's no carpet here, and the slides are flush. We did walk through some others at one point before we purchased this, where this slide was on the platform, and as I walked over there, I had flip-flops on, and that was not a good day for my big toe.
Ooh.
And so that was we think a pretty big benefit to that.
Yeah, I think quite a few RVs are going with that now, and yeah, we unfortunately have the carpet, so it's like we can't wait to not have that.
But having the pet, it's huge
Yeah.
not having the carpet.
Yeah.
And like I
Right.
told him, the great thing about these rugs is, you can cheaply change your decor easily. So
Yeah,
I'll be doing that soon.
Yeah, it makes sense. We did. Sorry, we just added a soundbar. No big deal. But I had seen a video of somebody else who had an Alliance who got back here and changed out these speakers, and that was probably a good hack. I just decided I was going to go the other way and just put a soundbar with a remote wireless subwoofer, and so makes a big difference. I mean, for the audio, and we just have to be cognizant of neighbors when we're in a campground. Not
Sure.
to go too much surround sound.
Sure. I really like the finish on these cabinets here in your kitchen. That's
this is
really nice.
I guess in an effort to kind of make you feel like you have a separate space, they use the different stain, but we've enjoyed it. I love the kitchen.
And you probably saw in the new Alliances, they have got a little bit different color pattern on that. I think this is a little bit more brown, but this is a little bit more white as opposed to that sort of whitewash. But gotta have a security camera, so we have a small security camera up there.
Okay, and who makes that?
That's a Wyze, WYZE. We'll get you a link on that. Fairly inexpensive, and you can either run cloud-based security, or actually you can have a micro SD card in there.
Okay.
To play back in case you can't get to the cloud.
Okay, you keep an eye on your puppy with that?
Yeah, we do. And speaking of that, I guess we're being a little bit random, but we'll go
Sure.
through. So we were able to turn that on. And then there's a couple options on the internet and Amazon for temperature monitors. This is a pretty basic one. It's called GoV, and I have my phone here someplace. And it'll give you alerts. You can set humidity levels, and you can set temperature levels, and that'll alert you. It connects to the wireless. It's not cellular.
Okay.
There's another company that does, and I can't remember their name, that does one with cellular.
Sure.
But you have to have a separate cell plan for that.
Okay.
So this just connects to a wireless, and and it works pretty good. But here's a word of caution: is if you ever leave and go someplace and you put it up here like we have, the residual heat
False reading.
Oh, that's a good little tip there.
We were in the Black Hills and we were meeting some friends, and we had this up here, and it's kind of warm, and I just got an alert, and we were about 10 miles away, so I raced back to make sure that Mika was okay.
Okay.
Up there, so we try and keep it out.
Interesting.
Not standard on Alliance, and probably not the best job in doing it, but we added the just a little subway tile to give a little bit of flair. We have more to do. We haven't finished it.
It's only taken us a year and a
Yeah,
half.
someday. Yeah.
Sure.
Little dehumidifier, probably could go a little bit bigger, but actually for this particular one, it's called High Shore. I'm not sure why we picked it, but it was from Amazon, and it does a good enough job. But actually, surprisingly enough, when it's pretty humid, we'll get a good bit of water.
Fills up pretty
you know,
fast.
removed out of there as well. So
Moisture is a problem
Yeah.
in RVs.
Yeah, and we may could benefit from a larger one, but
Yeah.
for now this one's been really good for us.
yeah, over time.
But I will say that before we started RVing full time, I made this purchase, an electronic frame.
Sure.
And anyone who's away from their family for extended periods of time, like we are, this has been fantastic because anybody can send us, download pictures, so we get our grandkids' pictures, our kids' pictures,
Can
and
you swipe
yeah,
there?
so it,
Okay.
it's
Oh,
a
nice.
continuous, obviously a continuous display of family photos. So I love it.
Very cool.
Definitely recommend that.
So that's some Aura, and we can get you a link on that as well.
Yeah, that's great. And then, you don't have to maybe fill up a wall with
Yeah.
pictures if you don't want to.
Exactly.
We
yeah.
do have one wall wrap, but it's up there. But it is nice to have that. Like I said, people can send us pictures of what they would like to see as well.
Okay. And so how do you do your major cooking in here?
Okay, first let me just show you all of my my favorite little tools that I use.
Oh, okay.
Here. Alliance gives us this nice
Wow,
giant
that is
drawer.
a nice size drawer for
I keep
sure.
my mini appliances. I've got a mini air fryer, a mini crock pot, rice cooker, all the
Okay.
little tiny things.
Okay.
And we use those when
Great.
we can. And Ken generally will use the Blackstone or the
Okay.
Weber grill outside. I love this guy. The oven works fantastic.
For
But-
an RV oven, yeah.
Yeah, for an RV oven.
Yeah, so-
Okay.
And of course we have the microwave. But those appliances as well as outside is generally how we cook the most,
Okay.
most often. Yeah.
Good deal. A little toaster oven, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Second toaster oven, because the first one wound
that
up
was-
burning something that
That
should
was
have been
my
on top.
that was my mess up. But I know a lot of people have the air fryers and stuff like that, but
We
you
have
know,
a small air fryer, yeah.
we didn't need that so much. So
Yeah.
this works well for us.
Have you guys heard of a sous vide at all?
I actually have, yeah. So that's
Okay.
the one where you cook the meat in the hot.
Right.
Okay.
I just dumped our grill and I
Go with
sous vide everything
Okay.
now. And I have a flamethrower. I can get the singe on there if I
Right.
want to, but I often don't.
I'll have to look at that. I've heard
And
about that.
but yeah, I just get tired of lugging the grill around, and and you could do so many things in a sous vide and cook that steak to perfection. So yeah,
And I
yeah.
think in your video, I saw that. But
Yes, we did a video, and I have to comment. Some people thought I was nuts, or we were nuts. I mean, those are fighting words thrown out your grill. It's like, wait a second, no, what are you talking about?
a video on sort of small appliances, and so we had we love cappuccino and espresso, so we got a little espresso machine,
okay.
which is good. It's capsule based, but
Very cool. I think I've heard of that brand
when
before.
we're in Italy, it's made in Italy. When we were there on vacation many years ago, they had one in the little Airbnb, and I
Okay.
think the coffee maker is cool. It's because it's
It's
just
like
enough
a
for her and
Barbie
I,
size.
just like a
Right.
Barbie size.
Barbie
But,
size.
yeah.
2 cups and we're good.
And, yeah.
Okay.
And we're good.
Okay, very cool. You said residential refrigerator then.
Yep.
Yep.
And how long does it last on the 2 batteries? Let's say you weren't charging. How long will it go without power?
I haven't really tested that. I know
Okay.
that we have boondocked. We have boondocked a couple times where we didn't lug the generator out, and it's lasted all night. So if we get
Okay.
into a place kind of late afternoon, get hooked up, and then we leave first thing in the morning, battery still probably at 70%, maybe 65%. So it's really not that bad. We've never run it down all that long. So
Okay.
but it has served the purpose of at least a full night. I suspect if we had good sun, we could probably run. I would suspect several days on it based on the solar that we have and the lithium ion that we have.
Okay, great. And how's the size of the pantry?
It's fantastic.
full.
stick.
Oh,
That's
look
full.
at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that's great.
with this design, I think that's the hot water
Hot
heater
water
under
heaters, yeah.
here, so I
Okay.
don't have it to the floor, but it's more than enough room for us.
Okay, you got the automatic light comes on.
Yeah, and it's great because it runs all the way up. It gives you, lighting all the way up. So,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome.
One thing down here, and this is not an upgrade again, however you want to do this. So one thing down here is what Alliance does do is this is your fuse box. If I could open this up. And so one of the things they talk about is all the color-coded wire. So anytime you see wire, you're very clear as to where that's actually going. And so that's all there. And if a fuse pops, you don't have to figure out which one it is. There's a little LED light in there that'll actually light up and tell you that fuse is the one that's actually popped.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. And it's I say fairly convenient. So again, that's more of not an upgrade thing. That's an Alliance thing.
Very cool. I see your some of your solar controller right here.
Yeah.
Not quite sure why they placed it in those locations.
Okay.
Yeah, they have changed that now. So so this is our solar charge controller. Here's our inverter. Again, don't know why they would have put it here. I would have preferred somewhere else. Up here perhaps, but they probably would have had to taken some of the cupboard space away. But and it's Go Power out of, so that's what Alliance used out of the factory. I'm not sure if they still do.
Okay.
And we can look right away if we're on shore power or if we are on inverter power, just based on this particular platform itself.
Okay.
Let's see, I think, and I'm not sure how unique this is, but in any place where there's a single plug as opposed to a dual plug, then that is a plug that is on the inverter specifically. I mean, it's not using the inverter, but that is inverter plug versus a shore power plug.
Okay.
So you know what to.
And they just put them next to
close
each
to
other.
Yeah.
then.
Just
Okay.
to make sure.
Okay. Cool.
What else we got? Probably won't be able to see that under there, but this is where we did the rodent prevention thing, where underneath the stairs there's some shoe storage. I just took that gutter topper and I cut that and then screwed that in. So that was good.
And maybe were all the door things standard, or did you have any upgrades? The solid step, was that already standard?
Solid
Standard.
step
Okay.
is standard. This was this we added, and the guy that installed it apparently didn't do it right. Oh, that was me.
That was
actually.
you.
That was me. Much like the dryer vent that was installed when the RV wasn't level, I think I made the same mistake where the RV might not have been level, so I leveled this to what I thought was level. And apparently I was wrong. So, but it just allows you to close this door without always having to grab, through here and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I think people are starting to add that as a standard option now.
Okay. Cool. Do you know who makes that?
I don't know. We got that from Amazon. I guess we'll get a link on that. I don't
Okay.
I don't know who that was. I do know that I won't install that for you if you decide to do that. Or nor do you want me to.
I love the windows in here. I mean, it's a lot of windows, especially right here. I mean, that's great.
Again, one of the things that I fell in love with, and I know the newer RVs are pretty much all going to larger windows like this, but it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it does. It gives you a nice. I think they've changed them now where they're basically this whole piece will slide, so you get a lot more airflow. Where on these bigger windows, it's just a smaller. But that hasn't been an issue. In order for us to kind of get it cooled down when we want to open windows, open up the max air vent, and then just open up a couple side windows, and that's plenty of cool for us.
Okay. And the fixtures here are beautiful. Is this all standard?
That's standard.
Okay.
One thing I have wanted to change, but not done that yet. But yeah.
Yes, it was standard in that year. I think they have changed those to be more
Glass
clear,
fixtures.
glass clear domes.
Okay.
So, but that's something we haven't gotten around to. We like the accent LED lighting in the top and then in the back and through here.
Yeah, I love that.
That gives it a nice look.
Yeah. Some mood lighting when it's getting dark and yeah.
Just enough.
Yeah,
Just,
it's nice too. I mean, this is just a minor thing, but it's pretty cool too that gives you
Oh
light under the
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so you can see the trash.
I mean, well, they are thinking of some details.
Yes.
I mean, it's really nice that they're paying attention to those small things, especially when you're full time. You know, if you're just a weekend getting out there once in a while, maybe some of these wouldn't be that big a deal, but
wouldn't need it.
Yeah.
And again, I think people are starting to do this, but actually putting in a couple of dimmers, I think, is very nice. So there's two dimmers.
Oh,
in here.
okay.
There's a dimmer in here and then a dimmer in the bedroom.
These are all standard, yeah.
One thing that we were initially disappointed with when we started looking at Alliance was they didn't have the LCI 1 control or a panel that did that. And their explanation makes a lot of sense, is that, look, if that thing fails, you can have, everything can fail unless you have a backup. So Alliance, at least then, and I don't believe now, doesn't do that. It's just a standard panel. So if you have a bad switch, you can replace a particular bad switch. So simpler is sometimes better, and that's what they decided to go with.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Ken, because we have that touch panel, one control, and right, it is one point of failure for so many different things. Sure. And we actually asked Lippert, like, hey, can we get the manual switches added in and have both? And I think it's possible, but yeah, I do actually. Low tech is great for stuff like this.
Sure.
Because if you lose a button here, you still got access to everything else. And
yeah. I mean, no Bluetooth capability, of course, but
right.
We don't really need that. So it's not, if I need to put a slide in, or if I need to put an awning in because I forgot to at night, I'm literally 8 steps away from the switch, so I don't have to worry about firing my Bluetooth up. So worked out well. Keep it simple. I think that's one of their things.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
All right, good.
Well, you're a tall guy, Ken, so does this bathroom work for you?
Should I demonstrate? And
okay.
The bucket of water, because we are boondocking.
Okay.
To conserve water. But,
all right.
But it actually works out good. I mean, it's actually, plenty sizable.
Yeah.
We did, now as you notice, there's no shower doors. Shower doors are standard in all the Alliances, but we decided just recently to take them out. Just because one gives you more space, two is it was about 70 pounds of weight that we decided to jettison, and so that worked out pretty well.
Yeah. Did you take the rails out then as well?
We took. We saved them. We didn't throw them out. Just because whenever we get to trade this in, I want to put them. I will reinstall them. But we took the side rails out, the top piece, and the bottom rails out. And I did have to silicone a little bit and caulk just to make sure we don't have any leakage there. But it's worked out well. Sorry, I probably should have hit that. We are boondocking, so we're trying to conserve water.
Okay.
We only had 40 gallons for about 5 days. So,
wait, and that's because you opted not to fill us up.
I was concerned about, we had to go about an hour and a half to get down here, and I was concerned about the freshwater tank following us because it fell out of the bottom.
But you have 50 amp power? Is that right?
We're 30 amp here.
Oh, you're 30 amp
it's
right
here. It's a 50
here.
amp coach, but we have 30 amp power.
I love that little modification. When I say little, I think it's maybe more on the big side, but Shuri definitely wants to do that. Those rails on the showers are so hard to clean.
Awful.
Yeah, and we've put in the shower rod and the curtain, but the doors are still there. The glass doors are still there, so we're using both of them. But we're at least saving the crack from getting
we
dirty.
Did that. We did that for a long time. It wasn't long before I realized we needed the shower curtain to eliminate another cleaning step.
Yeah.
But once you take the glass out, you'll be amazed at how big the shower feels.
Okay. We need to finish doing that. So what is that right there? Oh my gosh!
It's maybe a little alarming for a man to say that one of the best upgrades is not a mechanical thing. It's actually a bidet. And so when we started this process, we were at a Camping World. We were starting to get a bunch of things, and we ran into a woman, and we were getting a bunch of toilet paper, and she said, "I never use toilet paper. I do my business, and then she put it in a trash can, and I said, okay, that's a little bit much, we don't want to do that. And then we read, and we'd actually spent some time in Europe a couple years ago, about 3 weeks, and there's bidets everywhere, and we thought that's an interesting thing. And so we read about it, we saw some other videos and people do that, and so we added the bidet in here. And you know, at the end of the day, one is we don't put any paper down into the black tank, and it does give you it definitely makes you feel cleaner. And then we just use the trash can for whatever we need to on that. And so I don't want to get into too much graphic detail.
Sure.
But you can imagine if you've ever used them. But we love it, and it works out really well. And in fact, I've told Pam that whenever we build a new sticks and bricks house, I think we'll put a bidet in someplace. So maybe it's not my #1 upgrade, but it's definitely top three.
Okay, well, you know, I have never used one, and is there a way to demonstrate without actually using it?
It would be hard.
Okay.
So there actually is, and you have to be a little careful. So there's a switch which diverts. There's a cleaner, and then there's a squirter. And
okay.
So there are times where if you forget to turn that diverter off, that you will get a stream of water up here. So,
okay.
So basically, this is the cleaner.
Okay.
And so you see it just kind of stays in here, right? And that's allows you to clean and or fill a bowl. If I were to do that, which I have by mistake a couple times, and turn that on, that stream of water will either catch me or get the mirror. So,
oh my gosh.
The downside of it is it's not warm water.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
It's not electric.
All right.
It can be a little shocking when you're in a cold weather climate, but but I would absolutely recommend it. We did have a plumber install it, so I did not want to do that, but absolutely love that.
What kind of a cost are we looking at with the unit and the installation?
So the plumber I have to go back. I think the plumber was about $100, maybe $125.
Okay.
It was a little bit much, but it is what it is. And I'll get you a link. It's called a Lux Neo 120.
Okay.
And it's, what was it, $59 or something like that? It really wasn't that expensive.
Oh, okay.
I think it's definitely worth it. And the only downside to it, I would say, and it's not so much the bidet, is Alliance does do check valves or valves at every water aspect. And so because of the length of this, we had to remove that shutoff. They have shutoffs in every area where you have water going to it. And so unfortunately, we did have to remove that. So if we have a leak, we will have to cut the water off into the RV.
I have heard of people putting these in RVs, but it's the first one I've ever seen. So,
and if you'd like a further demonstration, no, I'm just kidding.
And comment down below. Would you add this to your RV? Let us know, or if you have one, let us know, because it's the first one I have ever seen. So thank you for that, Ken. That's very cool. And not too costly.
No, not too costly.
So,
not too costly.
Yeah, that's great.
Which, by the way, I wasn't going to tell everybody about the whole toilet paper thing.
He can cut that out if he wants, but that makes it real. No, it is real. So it's you still use toilet paper, but by that time there's a whole lot less to worry about.
A lot of these things, manufacturers have incorporated these small details in the newer rigs, but this is a pretty cool thing that they started doing.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. So it used to be secret storage, but everybody knows about it. So I wouldn't call it secret anymore.
Right.
But we recently, and I'd only been asking for probably, I don't know, a year. Yeah, so just recently we replaced our mattress with a new Brooklyn bedding mattress, which I absolutely love.
So it's actually like RV mattress,
correct.
Right?
Yeah, it's a 72 by 80 RV king mattress. So it fits perfectly here.
Well, how do you like the mattress?
Oh my gosh, what a difference.
Really?
It's amazing, yeah. Well, what we've done for a year and a half was we used the original mattress that came with the RV. And it was fine at first. We added about a 3-inch topper and memory topper, and it was good. But, we're both relatively good-sized people, and eventually we started having major dips in it. We added another memory foam on top of it, and that wasn't enough, so
Okay.
got the new mattress.
Well, that's one thing that Shri and I talk about all the time. I think the RV mattress is like one of the first things that you replace. Maybe you go replace your tires. Well, that's kind of old. Maybe you don't replace your tires now, but yeah, mattress, one of the top things, and we've been hearing great things about the RV mattress by Brooke. We've been hearing great things about RV mattress by Brian. We've been hearing great things about RV mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. So yeah, we look forward to trying one out here at some point. So
Definitely makes a difference because, you know, without a good night's sleep, nothing ever goes well.
you gotta have a good night's sleep if you're gonna get out and adventure.
Look at me, and I forgot to take the tags off of those things. They've only been hanging there for a year. The tags are still
About 2
hanging.
months. About 2 months.
You know, what I love about the Alliance RVs is that extra window back there. I think that's great.
It's fantastic. Of course, when we're this close, I like to keep that one closed just out of respect of our neighbors, as it's kind of cracked. But having that, it just makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, in our current RV, it's like a cave right there, and it's like, yeah, we're ready for an upgrade.
And we spoke earlier about the, you know, toning down the LED lights. This is one of the areas that I did that as well. It's still bright, but with the paper inside, it's a lot dimmer. It has a really nice closet. I hadn't really planned on opening my closet up.
Okay. No worries.
But
It looks like it's got lots of room.
Yeah, I always keep her bed up in there, you know, when
Sure.
I want it. But it has plenty of room. We have a printer. We have all of our storage in here. And since we don't have the washer and the dryer, which would have been on the side, it gives us extra storage room.
Okay, do they even plumb this unit for
They
it?
do. Yeah, it's
Okay.
plumbed. It's ready to go. So
Okay.
should we ever change trucks,
Sure.
that'll be the first purchase I make.
Well, Ken might have to be looking at a dually then, huh?
Yeah, apparently. But you know, I told her, I said, well, if we get a washer and dryer, then you got to make room, so clothes have to go.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Let me just show. This is it. This is all of my clothes with the exception of the few that are in the drawers.
Okay.
That's not bad. right?
No. One thing I noticed with this lifestyle, you don't need as many clothes.
Correct, yeah.
I mean, it's like, I mean, you're not dressing up and going to work every day. You know, I mean, it just,
Easy.
you know,
Yep.
if you're working from home, you know, with an internet connection, I mean, at least if you look good from here up, you know, you're fine for those Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is great. I wish we could be 35 feet long.
So for internet, we have a couple things that we do.
Okay.
We started out with the WineGuard gateway, which is a 4G. We have an AT&T SIM card in there, and that works. It's suitable. It works good. We know that 5G is always faster than 4G, and it's a question of availability. But while we were in Montana, we talked to T-Mobile, and we heard they started allowing people to travel with the T-Mobile home internet gateway, and we decided to give it a shot. It was 30 days, really no risk, and we tried it, and we were just amazed on the speed. So I will give you a look as to what the speed is. And we're in a campground right now. We're at the Tampa show where there's a gazillion RVs
Wow.
with a gazillion cellular. So
Look at that. So yeah, no, that's not Starlink.
that is
but
not Starlink.
that is
You can kind of see where the provider is right there. with the finger.
crazy
And there's-
right there. And the upload speed even, you know, not too bad either.
Not too bad, and we can stream with that. And so the deal with T-Mobile is that not that this is a T-Mobile commercial, but it's $50 a month with direct auto pay, if you will. No equipment charge, return at any time, no contract. If you're a T-Mobile cellular user as well, then it's $30 a month. We are not. We're AT&T still currently today. But that we thought that was a great deal, and so
Yeah.
So the 4G is actually our backup. We've only been in one place in our travels since we got it in the summer of 2022, where there was no T-Mobile service and there was marginal 4G service for AT&T. So yeah, it worked out pretty good. Certainly for boondocking, maybe not the best choice, but
And that's it right there.
that's it.
Just a little unit. So I actually just got the black box version of that, and you said don't get that if you can avoid it, right?
Well, I would talk to T-Mobile, certainly.
Okay.
I've been told that this is the older Nokia one that actually has worked better than I don't know the manufacturer of the other one, but I was told that this was a better option. But and you can go back, and if they have one, there's no charge to make that change.
Right, because I just hooked mine up and I'm getting nothing here compared to your 300 megabyte download. So yeah, I'll have to figure that out, but that is quite a savings compared to Starlink RV versions, 135 a month.
Yeah.
And gosh, some of the other cellular services are pricey.
Yeah, and you're limited. So again, if you're going to go way off grid, this is not for you, and maybe Starlink is better. We haven't done that so far. We tend to boondock a little bit and campgrounds mostly.
So what has been like your favorite campsite or campground?
Probably my favorite so far would have to be Topsail, which is in the Destin area.
Florida Panhandle.
Yes, yes, we've stayed there.
We
Yeah,
just stayed there a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, we loved it. We loved it.
The other one was up by Lake George, and we camped right alongside a river, and sadly I don't remember the name of it.
I think even outside of maybe just campgrounds, I think we kind of look at it, what are the favorite states that we've been to, and interestingly enough, they all start with the letter M, and so Maine, Michigan, and Montana are the three states that we've enjoyed as much. Not to diss in any other states, but
sure.
we just have loved being up there. The couple campgrounds, actually, one in Maine, right by Rockport and Rockland, right up against the water in a very quintessential Maine coastline, which was just absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous,
Yeah, so Topsail is definitely up there. We really do like state parks where we can get them. And we have done some Corps of Engineer parks as well, Southern Texas. And surprisingly enough, and people will probably say, Arkansas, what are you talking about, Arkansas? Arkansas's got some beautiful state parks. I mean, Pettit Jean and, DeGray Lake. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful state parks.
So do you prefer campsites like full hookups compared to boondocking, or how does that go for you guys?
We haven't experienced extended boondocking,
Okay.
so it's hard for us to really make a comparison. I know people that do it love it, and I think I would. We just haven't had the opportunity yet to do it. But I do like full hookups.
Yeah, well, when you got hair like that, you certainly needs to be taken care
Well,
of.
so we're on 30 amp now, and I managed to. I turned on the hair dryer, and the AC was running, and guess what happened?
Yeah, and I think and this is actually a good experiment for us, because we're at the Tampa or the Florida Super Show. We're on 30 amp, but there's no water, no sewer, and we've been here since Monday of this week. It's now Saturday. And we only came down here with 40 gallons of water. And so showers have been probably, I wouldn't even call them Navy showers. It's probably maybe Russian Navy showers. I don't know, because we've taken some really quick showers. But we've managed, in fact, it'll be interesting when we leave here, we'll dump our fresh water out here. I'm going to dump them into 5-gallon buckets and see exactly how much we have left over and how much we use. So we were in Montana for 5 weeks in the summer, and there was so much amazing BLM land and just boondocking space, Utah.
Yeah.
All
and
well.
and
Yes.
but unfortunately, taking one of these RVs down those roads to be there was a little bit of a challenge, so we didn't do that. But we'd like to actually do more
Soon.
of that.
We're going to do that soon.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Yeah, Utah is one of our favorite states. Just another planet.
Yes,
It really is.
exactly.
It really
Incredible. And what's been your biggest challenge with this lifestyle?
Being away from family probably is the number
Okay.
one. Yeah, that's hard, but thankfully we've, the community, actually the Alliance community just in itself has been amazing. But RVers are just the best people.
I thought you were going to say hair appointments. You said hair appointments.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you're referring to high maintenance challenges, yeah. Luckily, I'm not one of those that gets their nails done and all that sort of stuff. But women and our hair, that's pretty important, and it becomes a challenge.
Yeah, I think for me, it's been one, managing the weight and keep being cognizant of that, because it's too easy to kind of just bring a lot of stuff in here. The other thing is we've talked to people that like are fly by the seat of their pants, that don't know where they're going that night or the next night, and then some that plan their whole summer trip out. We're neither of those extremes. We're probably more like, we know where the direction we're going, and we may have campgrounds planned for the next week or so or 2 weeks. And so that's been a challenge, is navigating through that and making sure you have a place to stay. And there's probably been 1 or 2 times we left that morning. We know what compass direction we were heading and what highway we're going to be on. We had no idea where we were going to stay that night, and it worked out okay so far.
Yeah. Oftentimes, like national parks, those are the ones that you really need to plan in advance if you have, something like that you're doing. But otherwise, we've had a lot of luck.
Yeah, speaking of the top sale too, and favorite parks, we just booked next November, and it was already starting to fill up for next November.
Pretty full, actually.
Yeah, so good, kind of tough.
Definitely, yeah. Destin, favorite area of ours.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's where Sheree and I met.
Oh,
It'll always be a favorite for you.
I was in Pensacola Beach RV in Pensacola, and she was in Destin, and we both swiped right.
Oh, that's so cool.
Biggest technical challenge, breakdown, anything like that?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. We've
sorry.
been very fortunate.
Okay.
I think that's always the biggest concern, and I know that day's coming where a slide won't come in or a tire will blow up. I will say that we've been fortunate. We've done about 25,000 miles, and we haven't. Yeah, more wood. We haven't even as much as a flat tire. We have gone through one windshield. We took a rock right in. We were at Custer's last stand, and we took a rock right in the windshield. But the rig has held up well. I think that's a testament maybe to how Sumo Springs too is that Alliance does overbuild the suspension a bit. Like this is a 15,000 pound GVWR, and we have two 7,000 pound axles. So that's been nice. The leaf springs are a little larger, I think 4,400 pound leaf spring packs, and so that kind of gives you a little bit more Sumo Springs of help. But yeah, we've been so far so good without breakdowns, and I'm sure I'll get back to you if we have.
Yeah, that's shocking. You're like the first couple that I've talked to that hasn't had, and you've been on the road 2 years?
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'll knock on wood for you too here. Cross our fingers. Everything that will go on. But that's amazing, guys. That's great to hear, and I think that is a real testament to the people at Alliance for the kind of RVs that they're building, because you guys have seen some of our videos.
Yes.
We've seen.
We also have a tire pressure monitor system. So we have a TST. I think it's a 107.
Okay.
So that does help, because I think staying on top of that has been great, and we make sure that we're full, we're filled with air, and I think that just made a big difference in keeping the tires good, preventing the heat and whatnot.
And what's one piece of advice that you would give to RV newbies that they're looking at this lifestyle and like, where do I start? What do I do?
Start basic. Watching videos, people think they need all of the solar, and if boondocking is your thing, then absolutely. But we don't have a lot, and we've managed just fine.
Yeah,
very basic.
I think for me, I think it's knowing what kind of travel you're going to do, and then plan accordingly with that. So like some people want, we talked about this earlier, the very large RV because they want that room, but then you realize, okay, what do I give up because of that? And you give up some nimbleness because of that. So I think, are you going to go to a place and stay for a month or two at a time? Then maybe the larger one is fine. Are you going to go and want to move around a bit? And we knew, for our perspective, at least initially for the first couple of years, we wanted to hit a lot of places. So back to why we chose this unit, we wanted comfort, but we wanted some nimbleness. And so realize that Every RV is a compromise, and you're going to give up something to get something, and so you have to really prioritize what those things are and really understand what kind of travel you're going to do, and then make that accordingly.
So how often do you typically move?
We learned after the first year to slow down. The first year we moved probably every 3 to 4 days. We were trying to cover a lot of ground, and we did, but it was pretty exhausting.
Yeah.
So we generally, I like a couple of weeks at least at one place.
Obviously, cost-wise, if you can stay a week, you're typically less expensive at a park. And then on these shoulder months or winter months, we do spend a month or more at a particular campground. While we were in Montana, I think we were there for 5 weeks, and so we can say that we were in a area for 5 weeks. We're in 4 different places, but for 7 days or more at a time. So definitely slow your roll. I mean, there's a lot to see out there, but the thing is, you will miss a lot if you move too fast, and so just be cognizant of that.
And do you have any memberships that you use to make this easier?
Harvest Host is the only thing we do. We haven't done Thousand Trails. We haven't done KOAs or anything like that. And we just, I guess it's for us, it sort of goes back to where do you want to go, and then you have to look at what's available to you. And that over time we might look at something like 1,000 Trails, but if you look at sort of the travel patterns we've had, we're in a lot of different places that may span several regions that 1,000 Trails has, and so economically that probably wouldn't make sense. As we slow this down even further, and we want to spend time, say, in the Southwest or the Northwest, then I think that would make more sense to or whatever part of the country, it would make more sense to look at that, and then I think there's some savings to that.
Okay, and what's one thing that you guys have never shared on social media or one of your YouTube videos?
Probably the mishap we had up in New Jersey.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. We didn't share that. We did share the one where I backed your car into a tree in Maine. So Pam used to follow me.
Well, yeah. So we kind of forgot to.
We kind of got that one. Yeah. I did a little video on that, but I did. I backed her car because I knew I could get into that spot until I couldn't. So yeah, we were in a spot. So you asked about favorite campgrounds, and I think we kind of gave you a few. I could tell you my least favorite campground, but I'm not going to. But I will tell you that's where this damage happened.
Okay.
In most campgrounds you go to, as you go around the loop, then that particular spot is angled to ease the back into it. These were angled the wrong way, and I don't know who designed that particular campground, but that was really difficult. So we tried several ways to get into the campground, into that spot. And it was late in the day. I was probably starting to get in night, and
it was very tight.
And we had a long drive that day, and so we tried to back in, and she's back there, and she said, "Ken, you've got to get closer to that tree." And I was pretty close. Once I got pretty close to that tree, I realized I wasn't going to make it, and I think my New York temper probably came out a little bit, and I pulled out of that spot a little too fast, and it had rained that morning, and the ground gave away, and the RV awning wound up on the tree.
Oh, wow.
Tipped a little bit. Yeah. And he continued to make it worse.
Well, I made it worse because logic was, okay, I've kind of rolled into it a little bit, so maybe if I go forward or backward, I'll come off of it, and it just wedged it further and further and further and further. And I guess I'm not sure how I thought about this, but we used to carry more wood, as I'd mentioned before. So what I did is I used the hydraulic jacks of the rig to jack up that side to the point where the tires are actually off the ground, and I put the wood and the Camco blocks and everything underneath, and so put it back down. So now it got off the tree, and we were able to go forward, off of there. But yeah, it wasn't fun.
Yeah, we often said we should have recorded it, but there were too many bad words. Not
suitable for children, for sure.
Right. Yeah. And people, viewers do like to see mistakes and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. In retrospect, we've learned that we need to record.
We can show you the aftermath because it took a lot of duct tape. I mean, the awning's still out there, and the caps. Actually, I was able to put the caps back together.
Okay.
I figured I'll replace those at some point in time, but I wasn't going to spend the money right away to do it until it's time to replace the awning. So. Yeah, that was not a fun time.
Okay, well, thank you for being open with that and sharing that with everybody. So awesome. So what do you tow your home on wheels with, Ken?
So, you know, this is one of those choices where everything's a compromise. And so I know, Tom, you do have a dually. I've always driven half-ton trucks. And so we decided to go with a 1-ton single rear wheel diesel. And so that sort of determined what size RV we could have. And you know, we wanted some nimbleness, some maneuverability and comfort. And we'll talk about that with the 310. But it was comfortable for me because I've always had a single rear wheel, even though smaller trucks. There's times that a dually would probably made more sense on mountain roads, but it you know, it's towed this thing fine. I think we're thin weight pretty much, so it does well. And she can actually drive this. She tells me she wouldn't drive a dually, but I think she probably could do that if she really had to.
I could do it. I'm just not sure I would like doing it.
Okay.
Yeah,
there you go. How much does the RV weigh?
So UVW is 12,250, and
Okay.
then the GVWR is 15,000. We're probably sitting in the high 14s, 14 and a half, just on some stuff that we have.
Okay.
And so we think we're within capacity. Payload capacity here is about 3,500, and so we have some additional things, a generator on the back. So we have to be cognizant about the pin weight more so, I think, than the
Right.
weight of the RV at this point.
And what kind of mileage do you get towing?
Very low.
Okay.
No, actually, I think, to be honest with you, I think it's probably about 12. You know, given the fact that this
that's
is a
great.
smaller RV, and yeah, so at least that's what this is telling me. And so it's not too bad. Probably 11 or 12. I think normally without towing on the highways probably about 18. We do keep it to 65 to 67 miles an hour, sort of my sweet spot and comfort zone. So try not to get really, you know, really fast. And so far that's worked out pretty well.
Okay, great. And what kind of hitch do you have?
We heard a lot about the Anderson Ultimate hitches, and so because weight was an issue for us, we looked at that and we decided in what I call the inverse of that. So we have a Pullrite 2600 Superlight, so you can actually, we'll be able to see the hitch here. So it's basically the inverse of the Anderson Ultimate hitch. The attached to the goose ball in the truck, and then it basically the sort of the hitch ball goes down into a receptacle as opposed to it sitting up. I was not sure with the Anderson if, since we have a tonneau cover, if that ball would actually sit and you know, not allow us to close the tonneau cover. So it's worked well.
Okay.
We can do some setback with it. So since we're just not a long bed, we get about 6 or 8 inches of setback just based on the way that you configure that. No, the Anderson hitch basically has that big sort of orangey thing on here. So a couple things I like about this is, one, you know, very solid here, and then hopefully there's nothing in the back that would be embarrassing. But two things I like about it. One, it's actually well, several things. It's actually a smaller footprint than the Anderson, and the latching mechanism is actually, in my opinion, a little bit more secure. So it's all spring-loaded, and that basically unhitches, and that hitches.
Oh, wow.
If on the Anderson, you know, it's a little bit different. It hitches on the front. People would tell you, as you know, I'm sure, that with a short bed truck that you would need a slider hitch. We just didn't want to have that weight capacity because that's a couple hundred pounds. These are, I believe, are about 60 pounds, and so still light enough, smaller footprint, and with that setback and articulation, it's actually done very well.
Okay. And the kingpin you have here?
It's so here's one thing. Anytime you do a Anderson and or a Pullrite Superlight like this, this is a Rotoflex, so you do have the rubber piece in here. So you have to add a mechanism to lock that out. What I've been told, that I actually did start to do that before we installed this, is the rubber in the pin box will actually start slipping out for you. So we installed this. This comes from Pullrite, and we installed that, and that basically keeps the rubber from sliding out of the back.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And how does it handle?
It handles good. I think what you have to do, you have to be cognizant about, because you do get a lot of articulation if you need it, versus different with the traditional kingpin hitch, because that's going to lock it from going that much. So you just have to be careful when you're kind of going down, you know, hills that may be a little bit sideways or things like that. But it's been really well. Just we check the torque, you know, occasionally, and I just lubricate this ball and the receptacle occasionally, and yeah, it's been very good.
Okay, this is kind of different for me to see the chains on here for a fifth wheel.
Yeah, that's a great point. So couple things on that. So we understand that a true gooseneck in most states you do require safety chains. This is kind of a hybrid, and so what we basically found out was not a lot of specificity to it. We just found out that they do require that for true goosenecks, and since it's a hybrid, I said, you know what, it's a small investment, and I'm not sure it'll stop the RV, but it'll probably keep me from getting a ticket.
Right.
So we just locked that into pieces on the puck system in there.
Okay.
And that just kind of helps us.
So what do you got in the front bay?
A lot of stuff.
Okay.
Probably should have cleaned this out. You know, it's funny.
No
because
worries.
a lot of people could probably relate to this. I have tried to reorganize the front and the garage probably 20 times, and whenever I do it, I wind up with the same configuration, no matter how much I change. So, no generator in here. It is in the back of our truck.
Oh, okay.
But what we keep here is, we just keep, we got 2 lithium-ion batteries. We'll talk about that in the upgrades.
Okay.
Just keep our Yeti here, keep all our, any fluids, any things in here. You know, just sprays or lubricants or things like that. Got Mika's Frisbee, which is good. I affectionately call this the coffin box, and then we just stow some stuff in there. On travel days, we put our chairs up here, and then we put the carpet. I'm actually going to get rid of this. We put the carpet right here. And we haven't done the reflectix yet, so try and keep it light. I've got like a little bucket vacuum in there and just some other, you know, odds and ends. But
it looks really neat to me. I mean,
yeah,
it looks very organized.
Wait till you see the other one.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's not too bad, but it's definitely getting packed in there. So we did. We'll talk about this with the upgrades. We did option disc brakes in here, so you do have. You can see the brake actuator back there.
So we got that down there, yeah. So that's cool. Love the disc brake upgrade. And who did the disc brakes?
We did that from the factory initially.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did that. We just wanted to do that. It was, you know, it was not a totally expensive upgrade. And as I tell people that when we have to hit the brakes, instead of feeling like the truck is slowing this down, I feel like the fifth wheel is actually holding the truck back.
Oh yeah,
so it's a good peace of mind.
On mountain passes, you're gonna want those disc brakes.
Absolutely,
for
yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
And what did you do for batteries for your solar setup?
So we went with Renogy for a couple of reasons. One was a little less expensive than Battleborn at the time.
Okay.
But 2 is the battery box was set up for standard AGM batteries, and at the time at least, the Battleborn batteries wouldn't fit in the battery box, and so you'd have to actually build the platform. So we just decided to go with the Renogy. They were a little bit less expensive, probably $100 at that point per battery, and they fit into the battery box, so I was able to gain some of that space back.
And so how many amp hours do you have?
200 amp hours.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a residential refrigerator, and the objective there was not as much boondocking. It was more just making sure the refrigerator is staying running as we're traveling, and if we do a boondock overnight and don't want to lug the big generator out, that we can at least keep the refrigerator cold and run some other small appliances.
Okay. And did you have solar or no?
We do. We got two 190 watt solar panels on the top. So again, not enough, but enough to keep those batteries charged to the point where we wouldn't be fine.
Okay, great. And I didn't catch your generator in the back of the truck, but what kind of generator do you guys have?
It's a Briggs & Stratton.
Okay.
And so when we actually started doing this and putting the pieces together, COVID supply chain was becoming an issue. So let me see if I can do this. I actually, when we bought the RV, the dealership had one last owning, and they tried to get me to buy it, and I wasn't ready to make a decision, and so I bought this off of Amazon, and it's a 4,700 watt start and 3,500 peak, and so we can run two of our air conditioners. We did do soft starts on here.
Okay.
So we can run 2 of our air conditioners just on that generator.
Yeah, soft starts are a must, and so what we'll do is we'll also put links to as many of these products and upgrades as we can find down below in the description and the pinned comment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But very nice, and you just run it right there then, right?
Well, typically what we'll do is because it is positioned where it is, then Pam and I will get up into the bed. If we need to take it down, and we'll pick it back up. The handles on these are not the best. It's not that's one downside of it. But there are times where I don't want to take it out, and I have a bunch of safety tools there. I'll take that out, and I'll actually run a fan. I won't keep this closed, that'll stay open.
Right.
And I'll run a fan there off of the 110 and just blow the fumes out.
Okay.
And, for one night, that's actually worked pretty well. We have the rodent deflectors, so I don't know if that's really considered an upgrade, but I just put all my tools up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, because I don't know if yours is the same, but that's an open into the open space that goes into the furnace return. So we basically put those up there, and we did under the stairs there was an opening, and so we just took basically gutter guard, the tops of the gutters to keep the leaves out. We took that, we cut it, and we just screwed that in.
Okay.
'Cause we have had
don't
one.
get any mice or.
We haven't had any mice. We did have a bat in RV once. That
Pretty
was-
sure that's how he came.
That was
Oh
special.
no. Yeah, I mean, RVs get critters. I mean, it
Yeah.
just kind of, it happens. And special tools or upgrades in here. The VIAIR air compressor in here.
Yeah, we got to buy it.
Yes.
We got that, and we keep going back and forth. We have a Blackstone and a Weber, and we're trying to be weight conscious. But
Okay.
I love cooking on both, so yeah, we've got the VIAIR in there.
Yeah,
That's handy.
that is a must-have for sure.
And just the way we kind of stack these in here, so tools, and then sewer components. Where when we do that, just where the hose. Stinky Slinky, and then we put the power cord, the 50 amp power cord, and we don't have a roll up, so we put the 50 amp power cord in one of the other black and yellow things.
Oh, well, this is a lot of storage for this size of RV.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's great.
It's funny, we didn't know this. I started looking at bike racks, and apparently there's a thing for RV certified bike racks, and we had looked at Kuat, and apparently they have one. It's called the Transfer V2. So we have two mountain bikes on here, and so apparently it's RV certified, and so it's been good. We've taken this thing 25,000 miles, and it's still on the back of it, so I think that's a good thing. And it does, it does fine. Steps down, and probably time for a new cover. But
What was it called again?
It's a Kuat Transfer V2.
Okay.
So it's apparently it is RV certified.
Oh, that's great. How much was it?
$3.99 or something like that. I'd have to go back
Okay.
and I'll get you a link as well, but I think it's about $3.99.
Okay.
And so it's been good. Got a lock on here as well.
That's very cool. And regular bikes, e-bikes?
No e-bikes, no. Just two old mountain bikes. I've got an old Specialized mountain bike, and she has a Specialized mountain bike. And she wants e-bikes. We've looked at some pretty cool ones. I'm not sure this would handle the weight of it at this point, but at the same time, I still like to mountain bike a little bit around some trails, so that kind of works out pretty well.
Okay.
We did add from the factory, and I think we talked about this, disc brakes. I did put Sumo Springs on here probably about 3-4 months ago, and I think that's made a difference. I didn't do a before and after video. I did an after video, but it has passed the bowling pin glass test. And what I mean by that is when we open up our cabinets, it's no longer like a bunch of bowling pins that have fallen down. We may have one, and nothing's falling off the wall at this point. So I believe it's made a difference, and it's a pretty inexpensive thing to do compared to like an independent suspension. I think that's all the panacea for us is an independent suspension, but I think Moride is many, if not a year out, and months out to get that done. So Sumo Springs was an easy fix, and plus I can do it, and if I can do it, then almost anybody can do it. So
Very organized.
Yeah, try to be. We got to get a little better at this, but so this is really nice because obviously you have to get to the back of your Nautilus occasionally, and checking for leaks and whatnot. So instead of this being screwed in totally, and this may fall because of the weight, but if you just pull that out a little bit, then you can get access to
That is great.
Everything back there.
And you said Alliance does that standard.
Alliance does that standard,
Okay,
which is so little things like that just make it kind of makes it stand out. So I think the way we've organized and had ladders and things like that, we have had to get back there in the past, and we did have a leaky hot water heater that's been replaced, but for the most part, it gives you access to get back there and check anything you might need to, whether it's vents or things like that.
And it looks like you have some water upgrades there as well.
Yeah, just this. We did the standard Camco, whatever the little tube one was, and we decided to upgrade a little bit with this. Inside, we don't have a Berkey, but we have a 0 water, and so we do test it. So this is, I think, a down to 50 microns or 50 parts per million, and then the 0 water actually goes down to about 1 part per million, and so that, you know, that gives us enough. We haven't had in 25,000 miles and, you know, 100 and some odd campgrounds, we've not had any issue with water and you know, feeling ill or anything like that. Obviously water pressure, but I would recommend these.
Yeah, that is a must for sure.
Yeah, and the flow meters. So
yeah, knowing exactly what you're putting in is important.
Yeah, especially this guy, because if you overflow that guy, it's going to be a bad day. But also on this, just when you fill your freshwater tank when you're going to boondock, just knowing how much water you're going to put in there.
And this ladder is popular with RVers as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an extendable ladder. I would say for anybody that's doing that, just be cognizant of the edge of this, because I have scratched some of the details.
Okay.
You know, on the side, I don't know if we've got a good example of one right here, where I had the ladder up there cleaning windows, and it slid a little bit, so it does scratch the details. So just be cognizant of that. Let's see. We did put the Valterra on.
Yeah, another must-have right there.
Another must-have as well. So
yes.
So that works out really well. I would say this, and I actually talked to a dealer yesterday for these. They need to come up with a mechanism where this locks into place, because while it spins in the opposite in which you put your hose on, when you go to take your hose off, and you know, this has happened to you, you can take the whole
thing off. Yeah.
Not being careful and holding it down. So, but yeah, that is clearly a must-have for everybody, and of course, you know, to keep
the bug screens.
Yeah, the bug screens. You got to have that.
And was that mud daubers? Is that something people have talked about too?
Yeah, especially, you know, we're from Texas, and especially in Texas, they'll ruin your day. So we've put those in there, and that's, you know, so far so good with no issues with that.
Right angle plug here to take off some of the strain as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think they come standard with right angles, but when we purchased the RV, it was the standard plug, so we just, another Amazon special, just basically got the right angle plug, and that really
okay.
helps.
Your chocks are a little different than the standard chocks.
We had plastic ones, and they were okay, and we just felt like these were a little bit more sturdy because they are rubber, and they're a little heavier. We keep them in the back of the truck when we travel.
Okay.
And I guess we should talk about snap pads, because we did do snap pads.
Right.
I don't know if that's something you've done.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, these are one of the first few upgrades you can do. And what are the advantages of snap pads?
So I basically just giving you a little bit wider footprint, you know, a little bit cushioning footprint. What we did do initially is I built a number of these, you know, just basically two by tens, and I, you know, squared them off and I put them together. So I would carry 2 of these for the front, 2 of those for some other place, and then another 2 singles.
And I see you got slide toppers.
We do have slide toppers, yeah.
Okay.
We do. Like anything else, there's good and bad for slide toppers. I think the good is two things. Keeps the sun off the top of the slide, so for really, really hot days, just makes it feel a little bit cooler in there. And 2 is I really don't like getting up on the roof if I don't have to, so clearing stuff off of the slides as you bring them in, especially if you're camped in the woods.
Right.
Still have to look at it, but we haven't had any issue with that. The downside is if you're in a windy place, they will make some noise at night.
Definitely.
They will make some noise. And if it rains at night, what we try and do is I'll get up in the morning and I will just basically manually tilt the RV up a little bit, just to kind of drain that off so it's not sitting up there. And
that water can pool up there. But yeah, that's definitely a important upgrade. So which RV upgrade was your favorite? Let us know in the comments. Now for our next awesome video, you can click right here.